All right. Feeney Talks with Friends, episode 117.
Wow.
We're here with a good friend, a director on the board, Rob Parenti.
How we doing?
Rob, how you doing?
Doing very well. Long school day.
Yep, it is Monday.
Yep.
So we had a long weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful golf event.
Fantastic.
Our best one yet. Our biggest fundraiser to date. Well over $20,000.
That's awesome.
We sold out Tunxus, 144 golfers. It was a beautiful day. The biggest complaint they were like, Feeney, everything was great, but I wish you brought in more clouds. So next year, I promise more clouds.
No rain though.
Yep. And
Just
I promise
clouds.
there'll be lunch at the turn, sponsored
Yep.
by King of Dings.
There you
Already
go.
took care of that problem.
See?
That was another issue.
I already got next year planned.
Yep.
Matt and Jen don't have to worry about anything.
Yep. And we got the raffle queen in attendance. And we got the man who ran the whole thing, Matt. Thank you so much. We're here at Luna Pizza, 999 Farmington Avenue. All that couldn't be possible without Alex, our good friend, and Direct Line Media, Stefania and Dave from Direct Line Media. Thank you so much for being good friends. My name is Eric Feeney, founder and president of Friends of Feeney. Our mission is to help children and families that need assistance after heartbreak or tragedy. And I use this podcast, Feeney Talks with Friends, and I talk to wonderful people in the community that are doing great things. So, Rob, thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you for coming on to be on the board.
It's been great.
Yeah.
It's been fantastic. Been very healing for me in my process.
Yep, we'll get into that.
Absolutely.
And you're a special ed teacher.
I am right up the street at Brayburn Elementary School, and I work with students who would be classified as intensive behavior. So a lot of them just have had a very hard upbringing, a lot of trauma, a lot of PTSD type situations, and they don't necessarily fit into a traditional classroom. So the elementary schools feed these kids to my program through the PPT process. And my goal is to help them learn social skills and be able to handle the word no and how to problem solve without escalating and becoming dysregulated.
Beautiful. No, yeah, key element of our elementary schools is that program. So thank you for everything that you do. You have a lot of patience. You have a lot of program, a lot of structure. We share common students.
Absolutely.
So, thank you for everything that you do. We got Kebbi here.
That's Kebbi.
Kebbi. Can we see Kebbi? Nice. Kebbi will talk.
Kebbi can talk. He will say hi.
Hello, Mr. Feeney.
He gave me the what's up, too.
Yeah. So
Kebbi.
that's Kebbi, and we'll get into what Kebbi does in a little bit. But
Nice.
Kebbi is a robot, as you can tell. And what's great about Kebbi is he doesn't get COVID, so or pneumonia or anything else. So Kebbi's always ready to help.
I watch a lot of Black Mirror. I feel like this guy's going to
Yeah,
attack me at
exactly.
some point. Katy Perry's episode or Miley Cyrus, I think. It was like, I'm Ashley. This guy's going to punch me. But what's MOVIA Robotics?
So MOVIA,
MOVIA.
it's a combination of MOVE and AI, or IA, and artificial intelligence. So that's a company that's based in Bristol. Go Bristol. I know the founder of the company. He's a good friend. So over the years, I have helped collaborate with building content to help students with special needs, more lower academic students. So like, for example, most of my kids that I work with, the lessons would be too low for them academically, but it also helps with a lot of social emotional learning and teaching students. For example, we have lessons on what a fire drill is. So at Brayburn, we had a fire drill on Friday. Before Friday, I had one of my students on the autism spectrum review that lesson. And because the robot delivers the lesson, he's very much in tune to the robot and doesn't fight it.
Okay.
Yes. So Kebbi has very simple facial features. As you can see, he just blinks,
A lot
right?
of blinking.
And the students try to time it, but they can't. But it's not off-putting. It's very gentle. You heard its voice. It's very always smiling.
Yep.
Doesn't get angry. It never gets sad, and like I said, never gets COVID. Doesn't get dumped by a boyfriend or girlfriend, and a lot of those human things that students with special needs could find off-putting. Kebbi doesn't have that. So
Nice. And you control. You were typing
Yep.
over here. So, how does
it's
that
controlled
work?
by this laptop over here. So the great thing is I could be in the corner way over there, and you are the student, and Kebby's here, and I'm typing away, and the student has no idea that I'm controlling the robot. So the student thinks this robot is real, it knows my name, it wants to be my friend, and ask
Okay.
me very simple questions, and it lowers the anxiety in students because, again, it's such a cute little robot. You know, it's not crossing its arms, it's not getting off negative body language. So it allows the student to really feel relaxed.
Okay.
And so it's not a screen or a tablet on purpose. It's designed to have that interactive with the students. And I'll go over it. I'll show you how it works whenever you're ready.
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right. So the main way that the student interacts, and sorry if this is going to throw off the lighting a bit, is through this tablet here.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do is just run what we call the intro session. Oops, sorry. We're gonna run the intro session with Mr. Feeney as playing the student. So it's a quick little session, but this is how you would introduce the robot to a student. And again, pretend I'm in the corner. You're not seeing me doing this at all. All you're seeing is this cool robot and this tablet with a blue screen.
Gotcha.
Ready? Here we go.
Hello, my name is Kebbi. What is your name?
You can say Mr. Feeney.
Mr. Feeney.
I'm Mr. Feeney. I am glad to play with you today. I hope we have fun playing together. Let's move our bodies to warm up. Are you ready?
Ready.
Stand up.
Stand up.
You
Stand up.
got to stand.
Are
Kebbi,
you ready?
Standing up.
Kebbi said stand up.
Okay, move with me. Copy what I do.
Yo, there he is. What's up, Alex?
All right. You're not moving with Kebbi.
Oh, come on, Kevin. That was awesome. That was unexpected.
Kebbi does a lot of cool things like spilling soda.
Spill some ginger ale. Kebby. Would this be considered a brain break?
So yes, like a movement break.
My body.
So you're standing, when you're done, I click a button.
Sit down, please.
Sit down.
So now it prompts you to sit down, and now you're ready to continue. So again, I'm controlling everything here.
I can do many things with you. We use a tablet to talk. You press buttons to talk with me. My friend, let's learn to use the tablet so we can talk. Look at the tablet.
I'm looking.
Look for a button on the tablet.
Button. Here is the
Touch
button.
the button when it turns bright.
And Stefan, you're picking up Kebby?
Great job.
I can make them louder. If you need.
Maybe a little louder.
Try another way to use buttons. Here are 2 buttons. Pick one when I tell you. Please touch the button with a picture of the ball. Wow,
I'm
you
good.
can use the tablet.
I did.
Let's review. First, you learn to touch the button when it turned bright.
Yep.
Next, you learn to pick one button when I showed you 2 buttons. Good listening. Here is another way to use buttons. Now I will show you 3 buttons. I will
Alright.
ask you a question. Which button shows a picture of a dog? Touch
Got
the
it.
button with the dog so I know what you think.
Oh, I like how it pauses to make it light up.
Yep. So it's a lot
You
of
did it.
'Cause I
reinforcement.
already want to be like, ah.
Right. So it's teaching the kid not just go ah, you know.
Here are 2 buttons. One is red and says no. One is green and says yes. Here is my question. Do you like pizza?
Oh, yeah. Perfect. We're at
We're at
Luna
Luna's.
Pizza.
How could you not?
Touch the button that tells me you like pizza, or touch the red button that tells me you do not like pizza.
Well, I like pizza. Chicken bacon ranch, please.
There you go.
You touch the green button. Great. Now I know you like pizza. Nice work, my friend. I like playing with you, my friend. Let's play the bubble game.
Oh, get ready, Mr.
Oh,
Feeney.
bubble.
Look at
Double
the
game.
tablet, tap the
Oh, we're
bubble.
tapping bubbles
Yeah.
now. Oh, this is nothing better than this game right here.
Most
Bubble.
adults love tapping and popping
Bubbles, bubbles.
Most teachers like, let's just do this all day.
I like bubble wrap
Keep
too.
popping.
Popping. I haven't missed one yet there, Kebby. Thank you.
Let's keep doing this.
Oh.
Now I'm hitting buttons, giving just random praise and encouragement right now. And if you got off topic, Mr. Feeney,
Mr. Feeney, let's get back on topic.
again, maybe Mrs. Feeney would like this feature at home.
Yes, I'm off topic a lot. Be like, Mr. Feeney, do the dishes. Mr. Feeney, clean up your mess.
Okay, let's get ready to finish. And we're done.
Don't. Oh,
Fantastic job.
love it.
That was fun.
Thank you.
I had fun with you today, Mr. Feeney. I really enjoyed meeting you. You've done so well today. Mr. Feeney, goodbye.
Bye, Kebby.
So as you can see, it guided you through, again, a lower academic student, a lower functioning student. The robot guides it through teaching how to use the tablet, always very positive, not negative at all. So with that format, there's over 280 lessons for math, for reading, phonics, social emotional learning, activities of daily living, that the robot teaches concepts to the kids. And because it's the robot saying it, the students tend to like, wow, this is great. The robot's doing it. I'm going to do it. So it really works well. Now, for my students who are higher academically, the thing with this robot is it has a very dynamic text-to-speech function where I can literally program in sayings to de-escalate students. So, and you can pretty much do anything. So I could type in like, are you feeling okay?
Are you feeling okay?
And then you could type back, no, Kevin, you could answer, I'm not feeling too well, I had a tough day at home. And then I could say,
That is too bad.
and it can have this dialogue. And because the robot is doing it, sometimes the students will actually open up more to the robot.
Yeah.
So think of
I
it,
could see that.
Your third grader maybe has an IEP at recess, someone or called him or her a name and he's getting dysregulated. Well, you know what? You don't want to talk to me? Fine. Go talk to my friend Kebby. And someone could be behind the scenes
Nice.
typing in all these sayings and helping de-escalate the students.
How many Kebbys are there?
So this robot is made in Taiwan. So this company MOVIA doesn't make the robots. So it's like a software. So we can be on any robot in the world. MOVIA can put this on any robot.
Gotcha.
That as long as they get it. Again, I help consult on the content. But Kebby is a very versatile robot. It's been thrown across rooms. It's been dropped by students, and it's always smiles. It never really gets upset. So it's a very affordable robot in terms of if it breaks, the company just gets you another one.
Now, could a family that has a child with special needs use this at home?
Yes. So
How much do these go for, and where can they buy them?
So you can go, and this is something where I think Friends of Feeney could help with this. So the home version of this has to do with licensing. So a school version, you can build on this laptop here child profiles. So if you wanted to, 20-something kids in your classroom?
Yep.
You could put 20 child profiles on here, and you can build certain lessons for each student. You could put 100 on here if you have the school license. The home license is built for the one student and a sibling. So it's about $2,500, and that gets you the robot, the laptop and the tablet, and it gets you content updates as they come out, automatically updated. It's done through the cloud or whatnot. So,
Nice.
So a family that wants this at home can literally, go to the MOVIA website, moviarobotics.com, and you can check it out. Again, they're a local company in Bristol, but if I've talked to them, and if they come across families who they feel would benefit from a system but are having financial hardship, to reach out to me so we could potentially help them. And it's really easy to use. If I can do it, anyone can do it. But it's great because families at home, the robot will say it's time to go brush your teeth. And because the robot says it, the child runs in and brushes their teeth, where if a parent says it, it's going to be a battle,
Okay.
So it's got a lot of use to it. And the company is constantly expanding how the robots get used. That technical side of it, I don't understand, but I know they're working on, AI concepts and controlling it. Like we can be in Connecticut, but controlling a system that's in Washington State from Connecticut. So there's a lot of potential there for different ways to incorporate it. They're also looking at elder care. So having this robot, the robot has sensors in here. They're not turned on, nothing's recorded. It's all FERPA, HIPAA compliant for schools. But, you could turn those sensors on and it could be monitoring grandpa, and, you could hit a button and, it could talk to grandpa, make sure grandpa's okay, and things like that. So there's a lot of potential for a system like this.
I know. I think they sell pets too. Like your pet.
Yeah.
They're like robotic pets.
Absolutely.
Oh,
So
this is really cool. Thanks for sharing. Love show and tell.
Yeah, it's great. So it's awesome.
And do you have do you upload like how are you doing? What's up?
Yeah,
Like,
so-
some questions uploaded, ready to go.
So I type them in. You type them in these boxes here.
Yep.
And then you hit save. So, for example, I was doing some testing with a kid, and they were done, so I programmed this. If I can double-click it.
Great job, Mr. Feeney.
Yeah, buddy.
You rocked it.
So, it can say any name or anything like that at all, and has pre-scripted phrases for, praising, return to topic, different things it can say, but you can type your own in and say it. So during COVID, the kids were logging on for morning meeting. Some of the teachers had these, so everyone's logging on because Kebbi's leading morning meeting virtually during the COVID shutdown, helping
nice.
lead it. So it got engagement when it was hard to get student engagement, as during that time.
Yeah.
So that is Kebbi.
Kebbi. How long has Kebbi
Bye-bye,
been around?
Mr. Feeney.
So Kebbi itself, the company that makes it, MOVIA Robotics, they've been around for 10, 20 years. The founder of MOVIA met them at the Consumer Electronics Show, like 2014, 2015.
Yep.
And that relationship has grown. This is the most economical robot that MOVIA has. It's the easiest to program, just most versatile. Again, it can take a beating and still be smiling, Kebbi. And you can change the names. Kebbi is its given name, but if a family wanted to change the name to George, or a class wanted to come up with a name, do some lesson on how to name the robot, there's a way to go in there and program it so it can be named whatever you want it to be named.
Kebbi. Very cool. No,
Thank
I
you.
can see that being very helpful to use and implement in a classroom, especially with individual needs. So
Absolutely.
I'll tell Kebbi whatever he asks. I'm ready to open up.
Ready
to
to
this
go,
guy.
man. Some therapy sessions with Kebbi.
How long have you been a special ed teacher?
So I've been a special ed teacher over 20 years. As part of that time as an administrator, but now back to teaching after my son Nicholas got sick. I decided that it was better just to be in the classroom and not, focus on what's important and not some of the stuff that, as you know, administrators have to deal with on a day-to-day
Yeah.
basis.
Where were you an administrator?
Well, at Oak Hill School for a while.
Oh, yep.
So I got to know Mrs. Feeney there through Oak Hill. And then I was also a director in Plymouth Public Schools for a while.
Oh, wow.
So, but I started, actually, it's pretty funny, I started my teaching career at Brayburn in that program I'm doing now.
Okay.
So it's all come full circle now. After Nick got sick, they brought me back, and I started in the resource room at Brayburn, and then this year they moved me back to my classroom from yonder years. So it's all come full circle. So
All right, so we have sponsors, and West Hartford Locks one. So with that being said, what are 3 keys that make you a great special ed teacher?
humor, you have to have a sense of humor. You have to stay positive, and you have to be willing to adapt on the fly.
Yep.
So as special ed world, it sounds horrible, but you plan for the worst and hope for the best, because at any moment in time, what you have planned could go completely wrong. A student something happens, the desks are thrown, and you go from trying to teach foundations to, dealing with a crisis. So I guess the biggest thing I've learned is just don't take it personal. That would be the biggest lesson to newer teachers, and I think you would agree. You can't take it personal. A student tells me to F off. They don't want to do their work. All right, well, thank you for letting me know. You don't want to do it. You could have just said, I don't want to do it, but that's fine. You expressed it to me, and I appreciate that. And kind of just joke around with it. So really, that's the key to longevity.
That's great. No, speaking of which, I got this nice letter. I'll call this guy Nephew. Hopes and Dreams. One of my hopes and dreams is to finish 5th grade and go to middle school. This is important because I get more freedom. Another hope and dream is more math. I want to know more math before middle school. My final hope is # be a good friend and have real friends.
He's
Love
bought
this.
into the mission.
This makes me very happy. Proud to know you. Keep up the good work.
So what I've done in my classroom is I've taken the signs behind you and I've hung them in my classroom.
Oh, nice.
So I said, the only rule we have in this classroom is, and then make them read it, # be a good friend. So, and we talk about what does it mean to be a good friend and how do you be a good friend, even when you don't want to be a good friend.
Yeah.
And it'd be easier to slug somebody. Being a good friend means you don't slug them. You talk about your problems and things like that.
I use that all the time when I'm like, hey, can you pick that up? They're like, it's not mine. Well,
But
be a good
you're
friend.
Good friend.
Pick it
Yep.
up.
So
Hold the door. Give a compliment.
Absolutely. So it's actually my wife teaches 5th grade at the same school. So that letter you read, that student has me for his special ed, and then Mrs. Parenti for her regular ed, and she's got signs hung in her class too. So
Nice.
we're pretty much swamping the entire 5th grade with how to be a good friend.
It's
So,
very.
it's
I mean,
fantastic.
someone just gave me a compliment today. They're like, "You must be really proud. I see it everywhere. I see it in Simsbury. I see it
Yep.
on the highway." So
It's
we're
now it's
spreading the
coming to
message.
Bristol, so
In
it's
Bristol.
getting out there.
I know we got Kebbi's from Bristol. I'm
That's
rocking my
it.
Bristol Blues shirt.
There you go.
You're from Bristol.
That's right.
So how's it? Were you born and raised in Bristol?
Actually, born and raised right around the corner in West Hartford here.
Oh wow.
So I met my wife through the teachers union long time ago. We both were building reps, and at the time they made me temporary chairperson of the union. She always thought I had a girlfriend, and I thought she had a boyfriend, and we ended up talking and found out each of us was single. So I did the ultimate cool line. I invited her to my condo to come watch Star Wars movies because she had never seen Star Wars. And
Hey.
believe it or not, that actually worked. First time, the law of large numbers dictates eventually that line's going to work, and it worked on Margo, and here we are, 15
Star Wars
years
did
later.
her in. Wrestling helped me.
There you go.
Get my
See?
wife. Want to go see wrestling at the New Haven Coliseum? She was like, sure.
Great, yes.
And here we are.
Yeah, and here you are, both of us. Here we are, sitting across each
Star
other.
Wars. Which one's worse, Star Wars or wrestling?
Yeah, it's tough.
What? Stefania, which one's worse, Star Wars or wrestling?
I mean, not only am I a Star Wars fan, but I also speak Klingon from Star Trek. So if that really didn't impress the ladies growing up,
Whoa.
yeah.
Whoa,
So I know, it's hard. I was single for so long. I know everyone's shocked.
Hit me with some Klingon. Seriously.
Okay. Kopla Lokchi Dom Ha. And we probably should have said this to the golfers on Saturday. I mean, may you die in battle with honor. So
Nice.
that's what Klingons want to do: die in battle with honor.
I love it. And then you go like this.
Yeah, live long and prosper. That's actually Vulcan, but yes, that's
Oh, that's
Mr.
not
Spock.
Klingon.
That's
Oh,
no
boy.
two different. That we could do a
Vulcan,
whole
Klingon.
separate podcast on Star Trek if you want.
Nice.
So.
We got a Marvel podcast coming up
Nice.
with Stefania. We got a Star Trek podcast coming up with
Let's
you.
do it. Let's do it.
Wow. Well, we got a little break. We're gonna do over some past. So yeah, golf tournament was great. We talked about the haircut event at Parkville Market last podcast. Check that one out. That was with Splash Productions. This kid's name's Rain Hales. He takes pictures at basketball. He went to Albany, got pictures of Caitlin Clark. He's got over like 18,000 followers. He's booked.
Wow.
He does every football game, basketball game in the state of Connecticut. He knows coaches.
Awesome.
So check out Splash, episode 116. But we talked about our haircut event, our golf event. Fantastic
Absolutely
golf
fantastic.
event. So
Looking
get in
forward
there
to next
early because
year.
we sold out. We had to turn away 5 foursomes. But a wonderful day. Thank you for all of our volunteers, sponsors, vendors, volunteers, our board. Our day started at 5 in the
Started
morning.
actually Friday.
4:30.
Friday, well,
yeah, Thursday and
for
Friday.
some of you guys, and then Friday for me joining in, and then Saturday, all day Saturday. So,
Yeah. So
Port
and it's
Jen's Garage.
some upcoming events. Whiskey Fest. This is our third annual time collaborating with Maximum Beverage. This is going to be at Farmington Gardens on Friday, October 4th. Then we have the Park Road Parade. Unfortunately, good news and bad news. We're defending champs on Best Float, but it's going to be the last parade, so we're going big. So be there for Park Road Parade. Makerspace event. This is the Makerspace event. This is our 6th annual. We collaborate with Elmwood Makerspace. And we also have the West Hartford Community Interactive, the public access TV will be there videoing. We have our Miracle League Trick or Treat on October 26th. We love that event. And then speaking of which, we're collaborating and helping out with the 45th anniversary of the West Hartford Community Interactive with Rocky, Bobby, and Jen Evans. Hey, I know you. What's up? 2 guys and a lot of wine are going to be doing the 45th anniversary, and Rocky and Bobby are going to be tasting 2 guys and a lot of wine live. It's going to be a great fundraiser. We're going to help with the raffle. That's November 9th. And then a toy drive here at Luna Pizza in December.
Wow, it'll be here before you know it, man. December's
TBD.
going to be here.
So we got our past events. We got our upcoming events. You mentioned Margo. I know she's running.
Yep. Yeah,
I went running.
Yeah. I'm Forrest, and she's my Jenny. I'm kidding. No, she's. This is the 2nd year in a row now where she's running the half marathon for the Hartford Marathon, I should say. So after our son Nicholas passed away in August of 2022, 2 weeks after that initial Yard Goats game, that fall, some teachers in Bristol who we were friends with, who were Nick's teacher when he got sick and would have been Nick's 3rd grade teacher, convinced her to run this, and she had never run before. And so she's accepted this challenge, and give her all the credit. She gets up at 4:30 in the morning. Her and one other teacher from Green Hills School, Mrs. Rossi, shout out to Mrs. Rossi. They're out there running Monday, Wednesday, Friday. She comes home, showers, gets ready to go to work. I don't know how she does it, but last Saturday, while we were setting up at the golf tournament, she was running 10 miles for her long run. So I'm doing the 5K. I will attempt that. Hopefully Matt and Jen, or at least Matt, will sign up, and we can.
Yeah, when is that? October?
I think it's October 19th. Yeah. I got some other friends who want to do it, so I'd love to get
You're doing the 5K?
5K, yeah.
Man, I could do that.
So as I
I
played
played basketball yesterday. I'm ready.
You're ready to go.
Well, I didn't play basketball. I shot baskets.
Yeah,
Totally different.
There you go. So everyone's like, why aren't you running a half marathon? And I said, well, I'll be honest. Margo's the runner and I'm the lover. So that's how it rolls, So,
Yeah.
But God, she's doing great. She loves it. And, she's been running other, 10Ks and 5Ks. So it's
I know the Hartford Courant had a wonderful article about Margo.
Absolutely. Yeah. She was interviewed by Susan Campbell, I believe, who's also a runner, about why she was running and how she got into it, and interviewed the teachers who helped her and trained with her. So
Yeah, running could be therapeutic.
it is.
And you find it has to be for her, right?
Right. We all need our own outlets. After Nick passed away, it was immediately like I just got I need to join Friends of Feeney. You guys were helping us out, and it just made sense for me. It was almost like a path, and that was my way of starting to heal. I also, to this day, I still coach Nick's old Little League team. This is my last go around. We're doing fall ball right now. I helped coach those kids since they were 4 years old. And, after Nick passed away, they said, would you want to do it one time just as a way to honor him that following spring? And just wonderful families, wonderful kids. So I did it in the spring of 2023. I did it in this, and then the fall of 2023, and then the spring of 2024, and now the fall of 2024, and that's it. Now the kids are older. they're going to be aging
Wow.
out and going off to, higher level competitions. So that's been great. I love coaching the game of baseball and playing the game of baseball. So that's been wonderful as well. So we've both found our ways to kind of, heal ourselves and make sure our son Alex is okay. Making sure he's got outlets too.
Yeah.
So our remaining son.
No, the Friends of Nicholas events at the Yard Goats were amazing. It's our third annual. He saved his energy for that first one.
We didn't think he was going to go. We didn't think we were going to make it. Honestly, it was going to be up to the last 5-10 minutes. We were ready to text you and be like, we're not going to make it. But he willed himself. He wanted to go. He knew all his friends were going to be there, his family, and he wanted to go to that Yard Goats game. And literally right after that, the next day, it just, started a quick decline. And he, again, eventually passed away on August 31st of 2022. So, but that Yard Goats game was really his last big hurrah. And we couldn't think of a better way for him to have something like that.
He had his Aaron Judge T-shirt on.
Yeah, his Aaron Judge, and he loves baseball. He loves, Aaron Judge and Derrick Henry. He loved when he was on the Titans, and he was my sports guy. So if he were here today, I probably wouldn't be doing a podcast. I probably would be coaching him up in some level, in some way, doing foul ball and flag football and things like that. But he was my sports guy. So,
Alex threw out the first pitch.
I did the first. So the Yard
The
Goats.
second one, I thought.
Alex never. He didn't want to do it. He had me do it.
Okay.
So he had me do that one. Yeah, he was out there. I was there with him, but I did it. He was
gotcha.
nervous. And then I did the second one, and then your dad did this past one.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, I know. We saw that embrace with you and Game Day Connor. That was like Matt and I. We have pictures of that. We'll always remember that.
yeah, Game Day Connor's great. Great guy.
Yep. And then the third one, we had we held the flag. We took group photos.
Yep. Yeah.
So many people show up, and his former teammates, his classmates.
Mm-hmm. All of his family.
We're going to continue to honor him.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. That's going to be his game going forward.
Yes.
It means a lot to us,
Yep.
definitely.
We're working on T-shirts.
Yeah, those are big. Like we talked about, people want a Friends of Nicholas T-shirt. We can just take off the QR code, or we could, like you said, make it look like a Titans T-shirt or something. Or it'd
I
be
think
great.
we'll get them on the website too.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But thank you for joining our team, and we're always thinking about Nicholas and you. Friends of Feeney, that's our mission. We help children and families that need assistance after heartbreak or tragedy. And now that you're an empathy coach, right?
Mm-hmm. So grief recovery. So I after Nick passed away, it was a very I was in hell for lack whatever not a religious type, but it was a very bad spot. I don't wish what I went through on anybody, and unfortunately, it's a club that more and more parents are entering, maybe not through a brain tumor, not like Nick, but through suicide or car accidents or, drug overdose. So it's not just 7.5-year-olds, but teenagers. So I ended up finding a very good grief therapist who helped me get through my grief through the grief recovery method, which is a proven track record it's a process of helping you go through the stages of grief. And you think the stages of grief are, anger and things like that. That's not the real stages of grief. The stages of grief are really what you are feeling, and no one feels grief the same way. But what you really can't do with your grief is bottle it up. I learned that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness, and it's easy for us guys to be like, "Wow, we're fine, right? We were raised, you don't talk about it, you don't deal with it." And unfortunately, that's like, putting a tea kettle on a stove and putting a cork on it. And that steam is just going to build and build and build. And eventually, it's going to explode. And this is what happens with my students. A lot of them, we say it's trauma, but it's also grief. A lot of them have had lives that have just been horrible, and they react because they're still grieving. Grief is not just the death of a person, but it's that feeling of wanting a different outcome, a better, a different or more meaningful outcome of a situation. So grief, could be obviously divorce, death, your pet dies, whatever it could be, whatever it is for you, that triggers that feeling, So this process helps you work through that. It's through a lot of great, journaling and writing, and it helps you kind of be able to take that grief and let it go, And then that really helped me. And I said, well, I work with students who have a lot of this same problem. They might not even know it. I didn't know it. Grief, it can be anything. It could be anger. It could be depression. It could be, you just binge eat. It could, people who are like, go out and hook up with other people, like just that, trying to cover that pain, obviously drinking, drugs, anything like that at all. So I thought it would be good to learn about this and help people. I don't charge for it. I don't want to charge for it. That's not why I want to do it.
Do you have a contact number you can share if someone wants to contact you about?
I mean, they could just use my email address, spedrob34@aol.com. They could go through the Friends of Feeney site, and because if they're grieving something, there's chances are they probably need a lot more support than just what they're grieving. So, we might be able as an organization to help that, through what we do. So they could contact us through Friends of Feeney as well. And, if you come across a family that's been through heartbreak and tragedy and they look like they need support from that standpoint, I could certainly, we could talk about that and I could help that family,
So we provide financial support and now some emotional.
As a process to help. That might not, I'm always going to be, I tell people I'm a recovering griever. I will be the rest of my life. We just had the end of August came around. It was the second anniversary, and it's hard, and, we had to go through a year of firsts with Nick gone. That first birthday on October 2nd, Thanksgiving, he loved Thanksgiving. That was our holiday. We watched football. I fried a turkey. He loved that. Christmas, he loved Christmas. You could just give him a box with wrapping paper and he'd be fine. Just tearing things open, So all of those things, opening day of football, he loved NFL, he loved Major League. It was hard for me to watch baseball without him. It took a long time for me to be able to turn a game on and watch the Yankees and watch Aaron Judge. So it's a process. It never goes away, but you can help how you're reacting to it and how you let other people know what you need. So very effective, and again, it's the grief recovery method. You can Google that as well. A lot of therapists are trained in this as well. So again, I'm a full-time teacher. I don't have all the time to do it, but if someone really wants to look at it, there are people around the greater Hartford area who can help, or it's even done via Zoom sessions. So you might have someone in Indiana who could help you out. So whatever you need. But we could certainly, through Friends of Feeney, really wrap around this process for families that might need it.
Yeah, we're honored here. This is episode 117.
Yes.
Nick's favorite number was 7.
7, yep.
So we honor him with 117.
Yep, that was those are his playing numbers. So he always had number 7 for Mickey Mantle for baseball, and then 7 for football. I told him, John Elway, and so he wasn't he didn't know who Elway was, but he just showed him some highlights, and he's like, all right, I'll take him. Yeah, Michael Vick, another one he wouldn't know, but yeah, he always wore number 7. So
we're thinking of him, but your Bristol community really supports you at the Bristol Blues game. It was well represented at the Yard Goats game, at the Wolfpack games. So you have a really good network. So that's important.
It is. We have, it's when people think of Bristol, I get what they think sometimes, but it really is a great city. As 60,000 people. We live right near the Southington line, so near ESPN, Lake Compounds area. Just a wonderful neighborhood. When my boys were little, they literally had every single yard to run through, which was fantastic. And the neighbors would just text me and say, Nick and Alex are here. Or they'd go next door to my neighbor Charlie and at 7 in the morning and steal his breakfast sandwiches, or it was that type of neighborhood. And Margo and I are blessed to still be there. And through everything that happened with Nick and other family members who have passed away, they've been great about supporting us and showing up for events like the Blues and the Yard Goats. And they all want yard signs now, and they believe in the mission. And I think 2 years now at Nick's old school, Green Hill School, they've donated money for Friends of Feeney. Yep. They do a Relay for Life. They love that concept. They're all teachers. They all buy into it, and they will continue to do that. So
thank you, Green Hill School. I sent them a thank you note after we got the check 2 years in a row, but it truly means to honor Nick in that way, and we appreciate the donations. Yeah. No, the Bristol Blues game was great. It was our first time there.
Not the last.
No, we will be
they
back.
want us back.
I threw out the first pitch.
Yep.
Sal Mazzarello threw out the first pitch.
Yep.
He golfed.
Yep. His team was there.
We're making connections.
Mm-hmm.
He said my pitch was better than his. Mine was like, I told him mine almost hit the dugout. It was so bad.
Can't be as bad as 50 Cent when he did it.
True. But I called the third inning with Ben Mihalovic. That was great. It was great to get in the booth, and I did some calls and talked about Friends of Feeney, talked about the importance of being a good friend and how we're honoring Nicholas.
Mm-hmm.
Fred Lynn played there. Jim Rice played there. Babe Ruth played there.
Yeah, I mean
so Muzzy Field is
Muzzy's over 100 years, and I don't know if you saw the sign, but there's in right field there's a sign that differentiates between New York and Boston. So it's got Babe Ruth's number. Half of it is in pinstripes, and half is in the old Red Sox uniform. And at that point, it's like certain many miles to Boston and certain many miles to. It's like in between Boston and New York.
Very
it differentiates
cool.
it.
Very cool. That's great. No, we're Bristol Blues. We'll be back.
That's
Speaking
awesome.
of Bristol and West Hartford, we're going to play a game.
All
I'm
right.
going to name a fact. You got to tell me if it's in Bristol or West Hartford.
Well, I grew up in West Hartford, and I live in Bristol, so hopefully my knowledge is good in both.
All right, we're just going in any order. I don't know.
All right.
I mixed them up. Home of Elizabeth Park.
Don't know who that is. Oh, Elizabeth Park. Oh, like the park part.
Yeah,
I thought someone named Elizabeth. I'm like, again, it's been a long day.
You failed already.
Yeah, West Hartford. Okay, actually Hartford too.
Yep.
Part of it's in
Who
Hartford.
plays there every summer? Bristol principal.
I know she's at Hubble.
Latanya Farrell.
Latanya,
Episode
that's right.
99. She's
I knew
great.
her name. I knew it was Latanya.
Who was the landscape architect that designed Elizabeth Park? Frederick Law Olmsted in 1890.
Did not know
All right,
that.
Good. Elizabeth Park, you got it. Where's the oldest ballpark in the U.S.?
Bristol.
Bristol.
Muzzy.
Yep. And shout out to Sarah Lucian.
Sarah.
She's from Waterbury, but she works at the Bristol Blues. Oh, a group called the Los Macheteros robbed Wells Fargo for $7 million. At that time, it was the largest heist in the U.S. history. Where
I
was
am
it?
that old. I remember watching on the news. That was West Hartford.
Come on, you remember
Yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember
did
watching
not-
on the news with my dad.
What year about?
80, 81?
Yeah, 83.
80, okay.
I
yeah.
thought that was crazy.
Yeah.
The Los
Macheteros. And they got him eventually.
Yeah, $7 million.
$7
Holy
million.
cow, West Hartford got robbed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, in 2020, in the census, this had a population of 61,844.
I know being the treasurer for Bristol, I got to say
You already-
it's Bristol.
Yeah.
So,
Bristol, very good. West Hartford has 64,083. So that's very close to
it
have
is
a town
very
in
close.
the city, right?
Yep.
Which one is the Brass City?
Waterbury. Come on, man. I knew that.
Question.
I know I got my Waterbury.
Which one is the clock-making city?
That is Bristol. Walter
Very good.
Ingram actually took the large grandfather clocks that were the size of you and smushed them down into a size of Kebbi. So think of it like he was the Elon Musk of the time.
Yeah.
And he set up all these shops in Bristol, and they were able to give middle-class, lower-income families a clock for the first time. Walter Ingram.
So he made grandfather clocks more accessible.
Yeah, so like think of the grandfather clock. It was more expensive. It was huge.
Yeah.
He turned it into a smaller version and more
Is that the
affordable.
American Clock and Watch Museum?
Yes. Yep. It's actually pretty cool. I've been there. It's
gotta
actually
check it out.
fascinating.
When do you think that opened?
The Watch Museum? I have no idea.
1952.
Yeah, a little before my time.
Which one has Blueback Square?
West Hartford.
What is the Blueback Square named after?
The Webster Dictionary.
Very good. The Blueback Speller, because
That's
it
it.
had a blue back. So
Right.
it's called-
Yep.
All right. Which one was incorporated as a town in 1785? Which one? Incorporated as a town in 1785.
I'm going to say Bristol.
Very good.
And Bristol was originally called New Cambridge.
Okay.
I know this because my son loves history, Alex, and he knows all the history of Bristol. So originally it was New Cambridge before Bristol.
My girls and I watch Jeopardy every night.
Nice.
And we tape them. So we just binged like 5 in a row the other night. When was it incorporated as a city?
Don't know. That I can honestly tell you.
1911.
All right.
All right. Which one had, or Edgewood or Elmwood? Which one's,
Elmwood's West Hartford. Edgewood is Bristol.
very good, very good. Which one has Chippins Hill?
That is Bristol. Very good golf course, by the way.
Oh, I got to try that.
Yeah.
I've heard multiple times.
really good golf course up there.
All right. Which one is 100 miles to Boston? Keep going.
100 miles to Boston. I would say West Hartford.
Very good. Which one's 100 miles to New York?
I would say West Hartford again. Where is it, Bristol?
It's Bristol.
Wow.
So it's funny that Bristol's 100 miles to New York and 120 to Boston. Weeha's 120 to New York and 100 to Boston.
Yeah, and it's about 20 minutes from my house
There
to
you go.
Brayburn. So
Fun
yeah,
fact.
that makes about right.
The oldest operating theme park.
That would be Lake Compounds in Bristol.
What year?
What year? The 1700s?
Yeah, it was like 1846.
Yeah, 1846.
All right,
yeah.
let's see how true Bristol Lake Compounds guy. What happened on July 21st, 1989 at Lake Compounds?
That was the Milli Vanilli incident because I was there.
No way!
Yeah, I was trying. Me and my buddy were trying to.
You weren't there.
I was there. I was there with 2 girls from Newington that we met through a Burger King drive-through, and we were like, "Why is this skipping? Like, what's going on?" We thought they were just
What song
repeating.
started skipping?
Was it "Blame It on the Rain"? I think. I don't
Girl,
remember.
you know it's true.
true,
True,
and it
true.
kept saying true.
Milli Vanilli.
Milli
That
Vanilli.
changed the world. That
It
was
did.
like MTV
It did.
News.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Breaking news. I
Yep.
remember seeing breaking news. Mm-hmm. Because 89,
Yep.
I was 11.
Yep. I was there.
You were there. That's hilarious. Milli Vanilli. He's
I am
real
really
Bristol
cool.
right here.
So Star Wars,
You don't
Star
know
Trek.
he doesn't know who Milli.
Yeah, I know. I'm the coolest guy. Star Wars, Star Trek. I speak Klingon, and I know Milli Vanilli facts.
What is known as Mum City.
That's Bristol, the Mum Fest coming up, which, by
Coming
the
up.
way, we got to go visit.
Yep.
End of September. They have really good fried dough, and we can
How
scope it
about
out.
my dummy goes, chrysanthemum. Mum is short for chrysanthemum. Did you know that? Did you guys know that?
No.
Okay. September 27th, 28th, and 29th. It was once the leader in production. In 1962, Bristol put out the most mums.
Yeah.
And their parade is going to be on Sunday at
Sunday.
1:30.
Yep.
We will get into it. So Park Road Parade's ending. So next year we'll be marching in the mum. You
Yep.
heard it here first, Bristol.
You're going to
Friends
love
of
it.
Feeney's taking over, winning best float in Bristol.
Yes, we will do
Mums.
very well.
Home of 4 Mile Road.
That is West Hartford. I grew up right across from it, so on
Yeah,
Colton
literally
Road.
around the
right
corner,
around the corner.
from Luna Pizza.
Yep.
There is a stone marker that says 4 miles. Do you know what that means? 4 miles. What is 4 Mile Road? What does that represent?
It not for land civil? It's land
It's
surveying.
4 miles from Hartford.
Hartford to there.
So this was
okay.
one road, and it was 4 Mile Road, 5 Mile Road as you left
That's
Hartford.
4 miles from here to border of Hartford. Really?
Guess so. At
Wow.
one point in time.
Seems a lot longer.
That's where we line up for the Memorial Day Parade.
Yep.
So, honored to be there. Which one has 22.3 square miles?
Of what?
Which one is area? Which one's
23.
and which one's 26 square miles? Which
I would
one's
say
bigger?
Bristol's bigger.
Very good. Bristol's bigger.
All
This
right.
guy knows his West Hart. Which place employs 4,200 sports fans and sports people?
My guess would be dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, right down the street from me.
Oh, yeah, you're close.
I'm right down the hill from ESPN, right up the hill from ESPN. So
I'm glad. With that being said, all you ESPN and Disney workers, your company, Disney, will match your donation to Friends of Feeney. So we recently want to thank Greg, John, and Seth for donating to Friends of Feeney, and we already got the ESPN match in the mail. Seth was episode 7. So if you know your guys, tell them donate through your
Absolutely.
work, and Disney will match.
All right.
What city is called Where City Style Meets Village Charm?
That's got to be West Hartford.
Gotta be,
That's not Bristol.
All right, so I'm going to name a celeb. You're going to tell me where they're from.
All
Bob
right.
Crane from Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah, I know who he is. West Hartford?
Bristol. Tom Brennan from Dropkick Murphys.
That's West Hartford.
West Hartford. Aaron Hernandez.
Oh, I know that one. Luckily, Donovan Klingon has re-given us a good name.
Yeah.
so
So there's a whole new FX show coming out.
Yeah.
And Aaron Hernandez. Michael Shrew, he's a writer for Parks and Rec.
West Hartford.
Yeah. Fun fact, in the mayor's office, they have a timeline of settlers and Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, Michael Shrew, spoofs it
On Parks,
on Parks and Rec.
That's awesome.
And shows them like getting murdered or mistreated, and people talk about it. And they used our mayors
Nice.
in West Hartford. All right, the writer, Mike Rice, the writer of The Simpsons. Where's he from?
West Hartford.
He's Bristol.
Bristol, is he? Huh.
Adrian Wojciechowski from ESPN. Woj, who always
Woj.
drops.
Woj bombs. He did about Dan Hurley. He
Yeah.
did the Woj. I'm going to say Bristol, but I'm not
Yeah,
100%.
Katharine Hepburn.
Wasn't she down the shore? Originally West Hartford, yeah.
Manute Bol.
West Hartford.
Manute
My
Bol.
mom taught his kids in preschool.
Bol is in
Yeah.
the NBA.
Yeah.
I'm going to write a book, My Friend Manute.
Nice.
I said it on the podcast episode with Dan Fritz. Go back and check it out. You'll hear all my ideas and concepts. I met him.
Nice.
John O'Hurley from Seinfeld.
Bristol?
West Hartford.
West Hartford.
Jared Jordan, 45th pick of the NBA draft.
This past NBA draft?
No, a long time ago.
I don't know. West Hartford?
West Hartford.
Okay.
Kenny Mayne, ESPN.
Bristol?
West Hartford. Oh, you're striking out. You're striking.
know.
He's episode 38. So Kenny Mayne has actually been a Friends of Feeney guest.
I didn't know they either. I just never knew they lived in
And
Connecticut.
Scott Van Pelt.
West
His wife-
Hartford?
Yep, his wife taught. That concludes our West Hartford. How do you think he did? Chime in and give me some fun facts. West Hartford versus Bristol.
So,
You got any for me?
yeah, so Walter Koenig. No, he not. That's the wrong name. He played in Star Trek. The guy who played Radar in MASH.
With the glasses?
Mm-hmm.
Not Alan Alda?
Nope. He played Radar.
Is he from Bristol?
He is a Bristolite.
No way, that's
yeah,
cool.
my dad was fishing with him. He was my
Big
dad's-
Birds has a teddy bear named Radar,
Oh, yeah?
named after him on the Sesame Street.
Nice.
Just trying to one-up you on your facts, you know?
That's all I got. That's all I got. So,
Very cool. You have any recommendations, podcasts, books, TV shows you've been reading and you want to share with the podcast?
you know, for those of you who have been through some sort of trauma, and this happened to me, there's a great book out there called The Body Keeps the Score. And it really, it's by a psychologist, psychiatrist who did a long-term study on Vietnam vets and who are coming back with PTSD, trauma from the war, and found that trauma caused physical changes and reactions to the human body.
Oh, wow.
So, nothing against Western medicine. I'm all for it. But sometimes you got to look past it. And, like, for me, since Nick passed away, like, I had some health things pop up that I never had before. Nothing serious, but I couldn't figure out why. And reading this book kind of really opened my eyes to the connection between the mind and the body and the gut and all of that, and how you can heal your mind, and your body at the same time. So I'd highly recommend that book for anyone who's going through a tough time, because you don't realize the connection. We're conditioned to be like, just give us a pill for this, a pill for that, a shot for this, a shot for that. And again, I'm not criticizing. Western medicine is wonderful, and it's saved millions and millions of lives. But at the same time, there is a closer link to the mind and body than people know.
Yeah.
So I highly
Sunlight,
recommend that book.
exercise.
Right.
I've
Exactly.
seen that veterans, Vietnam vets that go. They're like young and healthy. They come back. Their eyes were sunken in.
Right.
They look older.
Yeah, they age 30 years, in
Yeah,
maybe
that's-
3 or 4 years. So
All right, I read books. I just got and showed last podcast Who Moved My Cheese. It's a book about change and leadership. Jonah Francis suggested that, so I will definitely be looking into The Body Keeps the Score.
yep, it's
Very
on
interesting.
Amazon, Kindle, whatever. It's in libraries. So I still
right.
go to libraries once in a while. I still like turning a page.
I'm going to recommend my guy Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly's a painter. You need any painting work?
Like literally my entire house needs to be repainted. So
This is my guy. I
Margo,
paint
don't
you
listen.
like.
just kidding.
Jim Kelly, his number is 203-558-7546. It's you paint. I paint you like at gmail.com.
That's great.
He did some work for me. He's a Waterbury guy.
That's awesome.
He's a lefty, great 3-point shooter.
Well, they're there. Never mind his
Done.
painting skills.
Done.
He's
Sold.
in.
Funny
I'll
guy.
call him right now.
We would. In 7th grade, we had a whole routine for Ice Ice Baby.
Nice.
So he did some work for me. He's actually helping a family who lost their husband, mother of 4. He's painting their basement and garage. So he's a
Nice.
great guy with a good heart. So I highly suggest I Paint You Like. Check it out. Jim Kelly. He's a good friend.
We will look into him because our
Thank you,
house
Jim.
needs to be redone. It's at that
Yep.
point where we got to refresh everything, according to the wife. So
Yeah. I'm a son of a painter. I got paint thinner going through my veins. My dad's name is Tom Feeney. We call him TTP, Tom the Painter.
Tom the Painter. You get a little Bob
Painted-
Ross going on.
Yeah, he painted for the schools in Waterbury.
That's awesome.
So, and he painted for himself. And that's why I went into teaching.
Very
Because
nice.
Look at these hands. You
Yep.
think these hands get blisters? They get blisters sharpening pencils.
I was going to say,
I carried a couple ladders and stuff, and I was like, you know
no,
what?
I'm done.
Spilled paint once. It was just like, never again. All right, do you have a favorite restaurant?
Obviously, West Hartford Center is phenomenal. Zohara is a family favorite.
Yep.
Out in Bristol.
Did you see the owner golfing yesterday, Scott Miller?
That was the owner?
Doro. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
him.
didn't know. I didn't know that. I was talking to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he owns Zohara as well.
Yep. Zahara, Aver, Treva, Doro. That's
Oh,
the Doro
wow.
group.
The Doro group. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So
His, his partner's Dorian.
okay.
He used to be a cook. All the cooks, if you're Rob, you were Robbo. He was Scotto.
Nice.
Dorian was Doro.
Nice.
So that's what they stuck
That's how
with
they
that.
started. So we have a favorite restaurant. If you're ever out in the Bristol area, it's a family chain. Max's is called. It's a pizza place. Really good pizza, really good food. They got them all over Bristol. There's one in Burlington, Berlin. I
Like
think.
Max's Burger, Max's
No,
Oyster?
it's not related to the Max group. It's just Max is different. It's just like
Gotcha.
pizza, like
Yep.
queso. It's pasta, things like that. Italian restaurant, but that's a big favorite for ours out there. So
So you're at Max's Pizza. You could eat with 4 people, dead or alive, anytime. Who you eating with?
4 people. That include myself, or am I the 5th?
You're the 5th.
Okay, just want to clarify.
Good question.
So let's see. So definitely Abe Lincoln.
Most popular guy.
Yeah,
Always.
I always would. I'd love to hear what he has to say about things nowadays.
Yep.
Let's see. Who else? I would love to, like Joe DiMaggio,
Ooh, good
Babe
one.
Ruth, any one of those, dead or alive. My boys from the days in the 90s, Emmett, Michael, Troy. I'm throwing out more and more, but
You're a
David's
Cowboys
getting-
fan?
I am.
Oh, my
I know.
Podcast is over, guys. Sorry.
Listen, I have nothing to brag about after yesterday's performance and every year in the playoffs. So it's been a labor of love. But I like the 2 most hated teams in sports, the Yankees and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So
So you go to the casino and root for the casino.
yes, absolutely. yeah, exactly.
That's the joke. All right. Yankees, Cowboys.
Yep.
Yeah, Troy Aikman. That team, oh, man.
Did
Did they win 3 in a row?
They won 2 in a row, and then Jimmy Johnson left. And then they lost in the NFC Championship to the 49ers. That's the year Steve Young won it. And then 96, they got Dion and won for the last time in 96.
Gotcha.
That was Troy's last years, or almost his last years. So Emmett was older by then, but that team was a dynasty.
That's quite the squad, yeah.
Yeah.
Abe Lincoln, DiMaggio, and the entire Cowboys.
Pretty much.
Squad.
Well, just those three. I don't need the entire squad.
Gotcha.
Now, there are some other historical people I would like to talk to, just because I do love history, but it would be a long list. So, but a lot of the ex-presidents, Teddy Roosevelt, I like him a lot. I'd love to be able to say this is what's going on nowadays. How would you characterize it, and what would you do to fix it? Because they were civil people, and they, like Abe Lincoln, he surrounded himself with a team of rivals. That's that great book, Team of Rivals.
Okay.
So it was, think of it nowadays, you would have, he was Republican, right? You think of, I don't know, Trump winning, and yet putting people around him, he would never do this, of course, who are political opposites, because he wanted to hear all sides of everything and compromise and make the right decisions. So,
they don't make him like him anymore.
No, not at all.
And how are our friends? Speaking around the corner, 4 miles this way, we have another sponsor, The Fix across the street, Donut Crazy. Hopefully, we're connecting with the Cowoods.
Yes.
How's the Cowoods?
Maurice and Charlie, they're doing well.
How's 10%?
10%'s doing well. They just texted me and wished us a good golf tournament, actually, on Saturday morning. They going to make
like 10 of our Instagram stories and posts.
Unfortunately, they went through a bit of tragedy themselves. Abe Cawood, the father, the patriarch of the family, passed away over the summer. So they've been very busy with, keeping the store going and dealing with all of that stuff and, succession and things like that. But Maurice and Charlie are good friends. They did say they are going to make a contribution via our website, even though they missed the golf tournament sponsorship. They're going to make a contribution to Friends of Feeney, so that should be coming at some point.
No, I was so great to meet them. They do pets.
Yeah, on the holiday stroll. Yep. So,
and it was great to meet them at the Yard Goats game.
Yeah.
They bought a bunch of swag. They made a wonderful donation. Very generous.
They're
going to
really
do a podcast there.
Yeah.
Talk some rugs.
Absolutely. Yeah, they would love it. They when you're talking with Maurice and Charlie, you don't, unless you know who they are, you just they don't you don't know. They're just very genuine, humble guys who you can tell were raised right by their mom and dad, and they had to build their way into that business. It just wasn't given to them. I remember Maurice telling me he had to present a business plan to his dad and then execute it if he wanted to be part of it. His dad raised him right, and Charlie, they're hard workers. I don't know how they do it every day. They 10,000 emails each a day, and they also do a lot of real estate and development. So it's not just the rugs.
Oh wow.
So they're busy guys, but great guys and a wonderful family. And
so we got to connect for a podcast. I'd love to
have
them guests. We'll do We'll move this whole operation down around the corner and do a podcast there.
Absolutely.
I look forward to connecting with Maurice and Charlie. Thank you for that. Thank you for being good friends of Rob. So we're teachers.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite teacher was Mrs. Jarrell, my fifth grade teacher. She ended up being the principal who hired me to be a teacher. My parents were going through a tough time in fifth grade. I was acting out, sitting by myself while everyone else sat in groups of 4. But she really, connected. Do you have a favorite teacher?
Well, I should say my favorite teacher is Mrs. Parenti, my wife.
Good
So
answer.
I'm going
Good
to say
answer.
that. Margo, you are my favorite teacher. You're the best ever. But before I knew Margo, it was my kindergarten teacher at Webster Hill, Mrs. Hagan. She was just a wonderful, wonderful woman who taught well into her 80s. And on that, I never forget I don't know why. I just don't forget my first day of kindergarten. That was a long, long, long time ago. Back when my mom would take me back to school shopping, and you bought actual clothes because it was going to be cold in September, not 80 like it's been. But I remember the first day of kindergarten, she had a big fish tank the size of this table in a wall, and I just stared at it the entire day. And back then, it was half day. There was no full day kindergarten. It was, you just cut some string and gluing, but I didn't want to do it. I just stared at it the entire day. And my mom was a preschool teacher, so of course she was mortified. But Mrs. Hagan was great, and I got through kindergarten, and then, going through the years. And then when I became a teacher and West Hartford hired me, I remember she was still teaching. So that was a long time. Obviously, she's not teaching anymore, and she passed away a while back. But she was my favorite and kind of set the stage for showing me what a good teacher can be. So,
very cool. That's great. I taught with some of my teachers, too, at Kingsbury. A couple podcasts. Victor's podcast, 115, we talked about Rose Wise. She taught my brother and sister. She knew me. She called me intern. She always hit her time you need to be there, and then she bought me a fossil watch, which was really cool.
Wow.
So,
that's cool.
no, we as teachers, we couldn't be an astronaut, we couldn't be a lawyer, but we can make and develop lawyers and astronauts.
Right.
So it's great.
Absolutely.
No, I mean we shot for 50 minutes with Feeney. I think we
was great.
surpassed that. We talked about Kebbi. We talked about upcoming events. We talked about Friends of Nicholas. We're always thinking of Nick. Please check out our website on friendsoffeeney.com. We also have some signs. You mentioned that all your Bristol crew's getting signs.
Yep.
So check this out. These are on the Fresh Ink website. $25. Show the world that you're a good friend. It's good to put on. People see that, maybe they'll slow down in your neighborhood. Drive
I
like
have
a
mine
friend.
in my driveway. They slow because they don't know what it means. They're like, "What's a Feeney?" But
So cool. My buddy Rich in Bethany, 45 minutes away, had a fantasy draft. So on the way out, we're like, oh, he's random, way out in the boonies. We're like, let's put a sign up. Not 2 days later, I got a text. Hey, I'm going to work. I saw your sign.
that's awesome.
A woman, Janine Saigas, I worked with her at Kingsbury School 20 years ago. She's like, my neighbor has a Friends of Feeney sign. I live in Bethany, born and raised in Bethany. I love it. And I'm like, yeah, it's my friend Rich.
That's awesome.
So 2 people have already seen this sign.
Yeah.
So it gets the word out. People notice it. Tom Newman saw the first sign. He's a camp guy. He works in Bethany or Amity. So he's going through Woodbridge or Bethany. I don't know where they're all the same out there.
All the berries.
But my guy Rich, Sergeant Major Troy, put a sign up. He's a good friend. My college roommate. We had a fantasy draft. I drafted Christian McCaffrey.
He's on the
See
IR,
how that's
by the
working
way.
out.
Yep.
Every year. The last time I drafted him, he got hurt again. So he's done. He's not a good friend.
No.
But Rich Troy is, and it was so cool to hear Janine Saigas. She called me, texted me. So we'll get you these signs. Have your
Awesome.
Bristol people put them up.
Absolutely.
We're
Keep
going to get
spreading the
more
word.
involved in Bristol.
Absolutely.
I'm so happy that you're on the board. You're a good friend. Always thinking about you. Any closing remarks? Anything you'd like to share?
No, I appreciate it. Again, this team is great. I came home from the golf tournament, and my wife was like, "How was it?" And I just said, I just really had fun. We just have a lot of fun. This board, all of us, Matt, Jen, Marty, it's hard work, but it doesn't seem like it. We all get along, and it just really, I think people thrive off that energy we give off because they see us interacting and laughing and having fun, and I think it really sets the stage for any event we do. So thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to a long time of making sure we get families what they need.
Yeah.
'Cause
We've
that's
helped over
certainly-
70 families now and raised over $200,000. Well, $220,000 now because of the golf tournament. We're looking for some more board members. Be a good friend. If you have some time out there you want to give back, we're looking for board members. And we're also looking for subscribers. So please subscribe to the Feeney Talks with Friends podcast. And check out friendsofFeeney.com to learn how to donate, support, and volunteer. On 3, we'll say be a good friend.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Be a good friend.
Booyah.